This video clip will demo Lab 6. For Lab 6, we want to take our Lab 4 and copy the files and folders and images or whatever you had into a Lab 6 folder. Lab 4, if you recall, dealt with tables. We used the table tag, and let's take a look at Lab 4 real quick so you can take a look at it. We'll double click on default. Basically what we did, oops, come back here. Basically what we did there is we created a calendar, right? And we had the T-head section, the T-body section, the T-foot section, right? And we created our rows inside each section. Okay, we did a col span, and then when we got to the day page over here, we had a row span, right? And now on the day page, this is the only page where we did not use the T-head, or you're supposed to not use the T-head, T-foot, and T-body tags. You're supposed to build the table the traditional way. So if you didn't do that, you'll have to make the corrections in this lab. All right. So this was Lab 4 and what it looked like. Now let's take a look at Lab 6. Lab 6 deals with styles, and there's 3 ways to implement styles on a website. You can use inline styles, internal styles, and external styles. An inline style is where the style appears directly on the HTML tag itself, and that's what we want to do for this lab. So for this lab, style should only be on the HTML tag itself. We don't want to do an internal or external tag. And in your text, they may show you how to do internal first. So we want to make sure you don't do that for this one. We're going to learn all 3 ways in a separate lab. So notice in this one, what we've done is we've styled the background of the whole page. So we've set a background color. We've also changed the font for the whole page. Now we have a table, and in the T-head section of the table, we've got a background color for that, as well as the T-foot and the T-body. We're not using the attributes now in the table tag. If you recall from Lab 4, you probably had a border equals 1, you had an align equals center maybe, or maybe a width, something like that on your table tags. All those attributes should go away. You shouldn't be using any of those in this lab. Now we're going to just use styles to control all that, right? And that's what I've done here. So even though it might look the same, this is implemented differently using styles, okay? The other thing you got to remember is the layout. You can choose any color you like here, as long as it should look sort of professional, right? You have to have a good eye for that. If you have a dark background, make sure you have light text. If you have a light background, make sure you have a dark text. That's one of the basic rules. It's got to be readable, all right? So there'll be points taken off if not, so just keep that in mind. All right, so keep your colors simple. You don't want to use more than 3 or 4 colors. I think that's a typical rule of thumb when you're designing something. You want to have a good color scheme picked out. So let's take a look. We'll go to January. Now there's some flaws with this site, right? Because for one thing, every time we go to a different page, it's going to change the size. The size of the page changes. So there's some built-in things here that we're going to fix in labs down the road. But let's take a look at what we did here for this month page. We have our image in here. This is one row. We have a background color now in this image. Notice that the body or the page itself is the same background color. It's consistent throughout the web. This is still the header. I think both of these rows are in my T-head section, right? Notice also that the link, I had to change the text color of the link using styles because when you click on a link, it usually turns purple, right? And then that would not be readable with a dark background, so just keep that in mind. For the cells that do not have a date in them, you might want to gray them out or make them a different color. I also chose a different color for my weekends, right? And of course the footer, T-foot has the same as a T-head. Now the difference is this is a T. I think this row here is in the T-head as well. However, there's an image in it. I did change the background color on that. All right, now all the dates are centered. The heading over here were the days of the week. We're using something different here now. We're not using any heading tags. We're using font size now to style these and center them, right? So you don't want it to have any kind of align equals center on your cells. It's all through styles. And it's the day that you select. Make sure you change the background color of that any color you want. Make sure that, again, the text is readable. If you click on that, now we have our day page, right? Again, same consistency as far as what the page looks like. Background color is the same. This page is, again, the one that you were not supposed to use the T-head, T-foot, and T-body tags. So if you did use that in Lab 4, you'll need to correct that for this lab, right? And what we've done here is we've taken away, we're using line height on this one. So if you used a heading tag in here, what we're doing is we've made this, we're using a span tag with a BR tag to go to the next line. Right, so it's a span tag, and then you want to style it. Now the specs will probably say that the line height here will be 35 pixels on this one, so that's 35 pixels between each letter. And then on the actual, I guess, itinerary for the day, these cells here are 50 pixels. So the line height is 50 pixels for this, right? Same concept. So that's Lab 6 in a nutshell, all right? So again, just styles, and we're going to clean this up. We're going to advance this. We might use it again in another lab, but we only want to use inline styles for Lab 6.